So today I'm going to be talking about growing up in a small town of about 1,000 people in Castor, where I grew up, and the atmosphere. So it's super friendly. Everyone knows everyone. It's really quiet. There's actually always one vehicle that was cruising around, and every single person in the town knew who it was. And actually, when I went home on the weekend, that's the first thing me and my friend encountered. The first thing we seen was that vehicle ripping around, being noisy. And it was rarely you'd go uptown without stopping and seeing someone you'd have a conversation with. You're always within walking distance to wherever you needed. And one time actually we were in home ec class, and we got sent to get groceries uptown, and two different people ended up stopping us, seeing if they should call our parents, wondering if we were cutting class. So our teachers got kind of a kick out of that. And the driving to town, there's no street lights, so it wasn't too busy. And people just constantly cruised, something to do. Wasn't much to do always in the town. And there's been like cows and animals like that on numerous occasions. On back roads and that's definitely not something you'd see every day around here. And if you're behind more than a few vehicles at a time, people would be complaining about how you're in traffic. And so a bit different here anyways. And in the winter, I had a couple of my friends that would drive their skidoos to school, which I don't think is something you'd see here every day either. Not usually too lenient about that. And a bunch of my friends, they're all hunters. They drive around with guns in the back of their truck, and they all have, so there'd be a bunch of guns in the parking lot, which probably isn't the best thing, but teachers didn't seem to care, they knew about it. Just in case they seen the odd deer at lunch, they might want to shoot. And often, you'd go out of town, you'd lose service, so that was always kind of a pain. And school, so we was in a K-12 school with only like 200 people, so you got to know everyone pretty well. I knew the junior high kids, elementary too. It wasn't just like your high school or whatever, and there's only like 2 hallways, so I kind of got to see everyone a bit. And that was, the picture up there is one of our Christmas stores decorations, and we did it, so it was like hunting, you had like shotgun shells hanging off there. We put like the horns up, so it kind of just showed that from a small town. And we got to get close personal relationships with all our teachers. We could have their numbers, we could always talk and go to them for advice and help. So that was pretty cool, which is something you don't always get to experience. And for our graduation, it seems like everyone gets together, like the whole community, because they enjoy seeing all the kids they seen growing up in that. So that's good. And we spend time to ensure we go to the extended care and the senior citizens residence, so we can give them a part of our day and make them a part of it. And they always seem to get a good kick out of that. And this is the Show and Sound, which is an event we have at the school to show off our nice vehicles. And I actually ended up driving my golf cart to the school, and I think that I got second in People's Choice. And the winner actually was a girl in my class, and she rode her horse into school. So that I got to sit in the parking lot for the whole day, and that ended up actually winning the Show and Sound. So that was kind of a fun event. And so this is Andy's. It's kind of a dump of a little restaurant we had in town. And it was just run by an old Chinese guy who we all got to know and get along with really well. And for $5, you'd get a cheeseburger, fries and gravy, and a pop. That was about all you could get there. And he often sent us to get groceries for him. He wouldn't have it in his kitchen, and you'd have to go get your food yourself back quite often. And all the high school kids, they all had their initials carved in the wall, and he didn't seem to mind. And yeah, the building's like 100 years old. And he also did Chinese food, but you'd have to order it like a while in advance. Or you'd try to call him, he'd just say, no, he's not cooking that, didn't feel like it. He'd unplug his phone if he didn't want to talk to anyone. He didn't really have hours. So it's kind of funny. And work, I got my first job at the meat department in town without even a resume, just because I knew kind of my family. So that's something I wouldn't expect happening in the city. And I worked for the county in the summer, so I'd get sent like trucks to go do jobs, and it was with my 3 friends actually. And one day, me and my friend ended up getting stuck in the ditch when we were going to weed whack around a sign, and then we had no service, we couldn't call anyone because Castor is not a lot of service around there. So we ended up, and our 2 other friends actually ended up coming by, and they found us there stuck, and they were just laughing at us and laughing at us. So they came to try to pull us out. Then they ended up getting stuck in the top of the ditch. And we had no cell service, we had to go, and we tried to walk down the road, try to get service. ended up knowing some people around there that came with a tractor and pulled us out, so we didn't have to tell our boss. But he eventually got a pretty big laugh out of it. So that was kind of cool. And grad props, we take our photos in the library there. And one of my friends brought in a calf into the school. And our teachers weren't too happy about that. We had a cat that got loose running through school and ended up peeing in the school. And then after that, there was a big old hassle. Everyone's running around, he was in a bunch of trouble. And then after that, there's no more animals allowed for our grad props. So. And the creek, we had this little creek on the outskirts of town that we often sat in, and it was pretty dirty. Most people didn't think about going in it, but it's all we had, so we enjoyed it. And we'd go boating and that on it. It's pretty much just like a straight, narrow path. You can't really turn or anything, but we do it anyways. And sports is kind of nice in a small town because you didn't have to like try out or anything. They just try to build a team, and it brought the community together. They always enjoyed watching us and seeing us. And every time we traveled to a big tournament or anything, it was always kind of cool. So we'd play teams in like Red Deer, and they'd go, "Where the heck is Castor?" And they're not even that far. Sometimes we'd end up beating them, so it was kind of nice. And the farm life, a bunch of my friends are farmers. Most of them live on like ranches and stuff. And actually, there's a couple like party type of things. I went to a branding party, which is something that, yeah, go tackle some calves for a few hours. And when I was younger, we also got to do like a man tractor kind of birthday party. So we were spread out over the coulees and had everyone come and track us down. So it was a pretty exciting event. And some advantages. You got to know everyone, there's very little traffic, there's more freedom around the town, I found. And it was easier to develop relationships because you've always seen those people like throughout your entire life. And there's more opportunities I found, like sports, not necessarily get a job, but I had that in there just because like I wasn't experienced, they just needed someone to fill the positions. And it's easy to stay informed about the town. Disadvantages, there's less to do. You can go to the mall or the movies or anything like you could here in the city. There's limited selection, so things are pretty pricey, like your restaurants and stuff. And you'd always have to travel to find anything you need to get groceries. Often people would travel just for cheaper, stuff like that. And gossip was a big one. Everyone seemed to know every single thing he did, which not a lot of us were too fond of, but worked out anyways. And you didn't get to meet very many new people because around them, no one really moved there or anything, so that was kind of a disadvantage. But overall, it was pretty good living in this small town. So thank you.